Hello, I'm Regina Botras, and this is Backstage, where we talk with the who's who on stage, in dance, comedy and performing arts, speaking with the leading theatre makers of our times and how they came to the stage and what drives them and inspires them. I am joined by Merlynn Tong, writer and performer of Golden Blood, or in Golden Blood, first staged at Griffin in 2022 and back to Sydney Theatre Company's Wharf 1 from the 17th of September. Originally from Singapore, Merlynn is known for her screen roles in Jane Campion's Top of the Lake and ABC's In Our Blood. Her previous works for the stage, in which she also starred include her one-woman shows, Ma 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 Mad, the true story of her mother's suicide, and Blue Bones, a semi-autobiography of teenage romance. Golden Blood is also inspired by events in Merlynn's life, and she'll be starring alongside Charles Wu, who we love, recently orphaned siblings finding their way into adulthood in the steamy tropical backstreets of Singapore. It's also performed in Singlish, but we'll get to that. Merlynn, welcome to Stages.
Thank you so much, Regina. So happy to be here.
So this is, I guess, your third, therefore, in a kind of series of your works based on your own life. When did you sort of start writing works? Did you have a diary as a girl growing up? Like, is writing being part of your life forever?
That's such a great question. I've always loved writing, but I don't know if I had I love school assignments, any storytelling. I love that. But can I tell you the reason why I wrote my first work was because I was working as an administrator in an arts office and I desperately wanted to be a performer, but no one knew who I was, right? So I decided to write myself a show. And I gave myself 14 roles. And there you go. That was my Mama Man.
Well, that is jumping right into performing. 14 roles? Different characters?
Yeah. So that one had 14. Oh, maybe that one was 12 different characters. And then Blue Bones had 14 different characters, I think. But, 3 or 4 main ones. And then the rest were like periphery.
But what is it like to play yourself on the stage? Or a version, I suppose, of yourself?
It's quite hard.
Is it? Do you kind of step out and see yourself from the outside?
It's quite a strange process, isn't it? When I play in those one-person shows and I get to be so many different people, sometimes it's easier to become that other person. You take on those idiosyncrasies and you sink into that role. But to play yourself, I guess we don't see ourselves very clearly. Do you know what I mean? It's quite a mystifying process. And that's when a great director is so important for me, like working with Tessa Leong on this and having her guide me to being that version of me. Because in Golden Blood too, I play not just one version of myself, but I play a 14-year-old, a 16-year-old, an 18-year-old, and then a 21-year-old. So you see Charles and I age live in front of you over 90 minutes. So Tessa's great at picking those nuances in the character girl for those 4 stages.
I see. Oh, wow. And is it, nice to have another actor to work with on the stage? Is this taking...
The nicer when it's Charles Wu.
Is this taking kind of maybe elements of some of those other works you've written? The kind of hints of those in the writing of this?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you look at everything I've written, they sort of exist in a similar universe, so to speak. And there's actually a character here called Benny that you never see, that we talk about in Golden Blood, that is also spoken about a lot. And then I embody him in Blue Bones. So it wasn't quite, I guess when I write, I feel a little bit, I don't know if you feel this way, a bit possessed sometimes. Like you don't quite expect what is coming out, and that may not be fully planned, but yeah, that's how it is now. And I love that these characters visit each play.
And so are we in Singapore for the duration of the play, and what is the world like? Take us into your world of the time.
For sure, you are in Singapore, and I really love in Golden Blood for the audiences to feel like they are coming to Singapore with us. spending 7 years with us, in fact, in Singapore. That's actually really high octane, really fast. 90 minutes just zips by, but you get to see this whole world. I love the stage design by Michael Hankin. It's called Golden Blood, and let's just say you'll see a lot of gold. It's almost like a metaphorical kind of space that these two characters hold themselves in. There's only two characters in the whole world, right? Just the two of us. So it's a strong, I hope, emotional journey for the audience as they follow the development of these two siblings over that time.
Is the temperature rising? Is the air conditioning up in there?
Oh gosh, I would love that. Steaming hot, humidity, the smell of chicken rice in the air.
Next level.
That would be wonderful, but hopefully that's how you feel. We definitely sweat a lot. So.
Coming out of that, can you answer in Singlish my next question?
Absolutely. I love that. That's great.
What does it do when you do use your language in or maybe the place? Like, what does it do to the atmosphere of the room, I suppose, using language?
This is the part I speak in Singlish. Yeah. So I think when we are speaking like how we usually speak in Singapore, right? If we speak in like this kind of accent and you're hearing us in a completely different way that, usually in Australia, you don't really hear people talk like that, right? But when you hear us talk in this kind of nuance, the energy is different, the body is different, the placement is different. I'm hoping for the audience, you can feel the temperature rise just by hearing us talk like that. So that's a bit of that.
Already. Totally. Totally, I can feel it. Do you transform doing that? Do you feel like you're transported back when you speak like that?
Absolutely. And you know what's amazing? Charles Wu, because in general he's amazing, but also he grew up in Singapore just for a few years, so like the early years in his life, so just for a couple tiny years, but he's got this amazing musical ear, because I've tried to teach this accent to people like on film sets and for theatre. It's a difficult accent, so I'm trying to say it's an extremely difficult, nuanced accent, and he really takes it on so well, and so much that I'll tell you this little story. In Griffin Theatre 2022, when we were doing it, we had an audience member, blind, from Malaysia. And in case you don't know, Malaysian and Singapore accents are very similar. He came to the show, finished, he came down, he wanted to shake our hands, he wanted to hold Charles and say to him, "Thank you so much for taking me home tonight." And he was, in tears. Oh, I just thought that was I said, "Charles, you just do such wonderful work." It's easier for me. I grew up there in 21 years of my life, so it's very automatic for me to switch, the code switch. But he's done such a remarkable job. I really want everyone to come and see him.
Oh, fantastic. And you said like he's got a musical ear, because it is quite musical. I mean, language is musical. The voice is musical anyway, right? Is there a musicality in the kind of delivery or something? Is that what it is? It's sort of like
absolutely
singing?
Yeah, you saw that, right? Like the body changes, right? Even when you hear that accent, you can see, like, I think because a lot of it's Singlish, comes from Singapore. Singapore, the majority of the population, 70% is Chinese. So in Mandarin, there's like 4 different tones, so naturally that would get imported into Singlish. So we speak with that nuance, but in Singlish, it's not just Mandarin, is it? You get Malay, Tamil, Hokkien, Cantonese. So you often say a line and people will go, my partner, who's Australian, and I brought him to Singapore, I said, "What language are you speaking now?" And I'm like, "Still English, babe. Still English, but it's Singlish." It's quite a transformative sound, I would say, that I think is very potent on stage.
I can't wait. How are you like emotionally doing this work? Let's talk about this work for the stage, or maybe talk about, who you were at 14 and 16 and what you're bringing out, what you wanted to kind of tell from your viewpoint of the world.
So from those ages, 14 and 16 especially, of course, this is semi-autobiography as well. Not everything is as is, but in reality, I myself too lost my parents at that age. I lost my dad when I was 6 and my mother when I was 14. So having seeing myself again, at 14 years old with all that sort of empty bravado you're trying to bring into the world. I have been exploring that. Sometimes it's difficult to witness her, but it's also quite cathartic to bring her back. And at the end of each day, when you perform, after you perform, tell her that it's okay. You're so brave. Look at you, and you're here now, and you're on stage at Sydney Theatre Company and Melbourne Theatre Company. Look at you go! Look at you go!
That is, it's just so gorgeous. You're kind of like healing her along the way, maybe, supporting that younger you.
That's right.
What about your brother? You have a brother, and has he seen it?
I do have a brother. He has not seen it. I will say that this is a very exaggerated brother on stage. Okay. This is not him. But he knows it's going on. This character actually I've pulled from a few different people that I've known growing up and combined them into this person that Charles plays. And this character on stage, Boy, he's a gangster. Full gangster and full body tattoos. He is gruff. He is very ambitious. He is charismatic. Even though some of the things he says, you go, what are you talking about? But somehow he pulls you along and you want to see what he's up to. You want to support his next venture. He's a really complicated character that Charles personifies so well. And Tessa really brings him to life in an amazing way.
It sounds like you are living through both, like an internal, quite dangerous is, I don't know if that's the right word, but external as well, like your exterior world of the play. Let's put it into the play. The exterior world of the play sounds like it's quite rushing into you as you're going through this very emotional time. How is you, the character, like coping with the world? The character girl is going through so many different things at once. In the play, when we start, their mom had just passed and gangster brother's back and wants to become her guardian. She has to make a big choice. Does she go with him? Does she not? What I think I am fascinated by while making this play is we see girl and boy, they're both very different, but they're both ultimately trying to make a home, trying to find a sense of belonging. They're trying to make a family. They're trying to understand what legacy means, what inheritance means. Do we get a choice on what we inherit? So I admire this young girl's journey of trying to do her best to make that family and trying to make it all work. Well, also, she is in love with Australia, the character. She is fascinated with koalas and she wants to be a vet. So that's a huge goal for her throughout the play as well. I love that. Is that from you? Is that a personal goal as a young girl?
Absolutely. And that's a huge one, not just personally, but what I wanted to show the Australian audiences is how Australia is perceived from another country. I wanted to show Australia like these characters, and very often in Singapore, we long for Australia. We see it as the place where it's more peaceful, where we can retire, where the nature is astounding. In Singapore, we're quite small, we're quite dense, we've got all these high-rise buildings, it's beautiful, but it's Australia in many ways, it's the opposite. It's massive and it's got all this land and nature. So I really wanted to take the audience on a journey of showing them what it's like to be longed for, to be desired,
Wow. How fascinating. Makes me want to go to Singapore.
Yes, please.
Has it changed much since the 2022 staging?
This is the beauty of a remount, isn't it? It's such a gift. I love doing remounts, especially when you get to, all the lessons you learn in the amazing Griffin Theatre, who are producers as well. And they took us on this 6-week journey. We learned so much, and now they're producing for us to be here. And Tessa, myself, the design team, everyone, we took all the lessons we learned and we're just tweaking. It's the same story. It's the same show. If people seen it in 2022, love for them to come back and see if they can spot the difference. I've done a bit of trimming in the script where I think, the story can just tighten here and there. And the set, of course, is going to be a bit different now because the space is so different at the wharf and at Griffin. So that's expanded a bit as well. So in Singapore, we'll say same, but different. Kind of the same, also different.
saying something different.
Yay.
Well, I didn't get to see it the first time, so now is my chance, which is also a benefit of it coming back again as well. Yay! Merlynn, thank you so much. I can't wait, as I said. Thank you for joining me.
Oh, thank you so much. That was so lovely. You got such a gorgeous energy. Thank you so much.
Well, that was Merlynn Tong there with her production, Golden Blood. She's written it and she's in it at the Sydney Theatre Company's Wharf One, co-produced with Griffin